Someone was saying something and I missed it.
No, sir, continue. Continue.
Okay, nice. So can someone just help me that what you learned in the last session? What Vivek has covered?
Sir, we learned asynchronous programming, and we kind of called an API from the internet and learned how this can be done in background without involving constant user intervention and having to kind of keep UI busy or stuck.
Okay, and what are the widgets, class, or like library you have used to implement these things?
As such, we didn't use any new widget, but we kind of used API of regarding a number.
Okay, numbers API.
Yes.
Okay, so when you pass any number, it will give you a string which is related to that number, a specific sentence.
Yes, sir.
And as soon as you get this sentence from the API, you are displaying on the screen, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, nice. So I guess now you know HTTP package, like how to communicate with the server, like with the remote data, how you can get the data from the remote, how you can call a request, and once you receive the data, how you can like read the data and show it on the screen. So till now, you all are like comfortable with that thing, or like do you want me to revisit the same thing again? So that just to brush up the thing, because that might be too fast for everyone.
As far as getting string data is concerned, single string, we are fine with it, sir.
Perfect. Okay. So now let's just do some complex work here. Now, like reading a string is always easy because hello.
Yes, sir.
Am I audible? Looks like I just went out of the call.
No, your voice is crystal clear, sir.
Okay, thank you. So now what we will do here is let me just do one thing for you. So here we will have kind of this kind of data. So this is actually COVID data.
Sir, your screen is not shared yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you so much for telling me. I'm extremely sorry. Let me know once it is visible to you.
It is visible, sir.
Okay. So what we'll do, we'll create another API. So we have, this kind of API, api.rootnet.in/COVID-19 states and latest. So what this API does is it actually gives us the latest COVID data. Like right now, the summary, the total confirmed cases in India, confirmed cases foreign, discharge deaths, and confirmed but location unidentified. So this kind of data we are getting. This is unofficial summary, and these are the regional data. Like in the Meghalaya, how many cases are there? Manipur, in Gujarat, how many cases are there? And this data is updated, last refresh on 13th of January 2020 in the morning 9:4:20. Okay, so now we want to show this data in our app. So for that we have to create an UI. Once we create an UI, we have to fetch this data and show on the screen. So how we will do it? And what will be the the better way to show these things? So what we can do over here is let's just create a screen, something like where we have a total cases, a cured cases, and then like the dismissed, like the deaths. So we will be taking the total, the discharge, that means the cure, and then deaths. So this is the first three things we'll take, and then this will be our header, like on a top three. Let me just open the draw.io again, so we can create another diagram how we will do it. So we will create another screen. Okay, this is the square. Okay, so we will create a screen something like this, where we have a kind of the app bar here, which tell the app name, and then we have this kind of three boxes, 1, 2, and 3 boxes. So this will say the total number of cases, the cured, and the dismissed. And then we have the list view of all the data, and in that data what we will show will show again the name of a particular region, the location. So here in we case we have this kind of thing. Here we have the location, LOC, which is location. Then we will show the confirmed cases, India, and also we will add this with the foreign. The reason why we are adding is because we need total confirmed cases. Once this is done, then we'll show the deaths. Okay, so like cases and deaths and cure are the discharge. So these are the cure. So we will show this, we will utilize these 4 things. I guess we don't require to add those things because now they have the new field called total confirmed cases. So we use all things one by one. Now, does anyone aware what notation is this? This kind of representation, like curly bracket, the square bracket,
JSON.
key, and like everyone aware how JSON works and how it doesn't work, so that we can skip this part. If no, and if you have question, just let me know, because this implementation might take the whole session, and this is a very crucial part, because whenever any application is getting built, all application have this kind of the complex JSON, and we are going to pass this JSON in the Dart, and then we'll display on the screen. So right now, everyone are aware what exactly the JSON is? If no, let me just go to the JSON website, json.org. So JSON is just a normal kind of notation which is used for the cross-platform communication. Like right now we are into the mobile, we want and this particular data is stored somewhere in this app.root.net in. Now we want to access those data in our device. So what we required, we need some middle layer. That middle layer name known as the API, application programming interface. This programming interface will give the data in such a way that both sender and receiver, both the party can understand. The JSON is a very common format, it's been used. Earlier it's been used with the XML format, but XML format has its cons, and it is like a very difficult nowadays to manage those formatting and everything, and it has some limitations as well. So we will stick to the JSON because this is right now the industry standard that everyone are using the JSON. So in the JSON, when you write a JSON, let me just open the Dartpad as well. New, okay, Dart. Okay, now when you have a JSON, in the JSON, you can define like final JSON variable. Here you can define as in the map, like the curly braces is the JSON object. in the JSON object, you have to have two things. One is a key. So this is the first key, and then it has the value. Now value can be anything from this properties. So value can be another JSON object. It can be another JSON array. It can be string. It can be number. It can be Boolean like true and false as a value, or it can be null. So JSON can contain only this type of data types. So for example, in our case, we have a one JSON object. JSON object, we have a one key called success. Value is true. Then there is another key data. It has the object. The curly braces denotes the object. Then this is a string. This is again string. Now if we open this data, we got three objects: summary, unofficial summary, and regional. Here we can see summary has again object, unofficial has an array. Here we can see this notation denotes an array. In regional, we have 36 objects in one array. So regional has one array, and every object has the similar data structure in the regional. So this how the JSON looks like, and how you can create a JSON. Now we have a JSON. Let's just try to understand how we can parse it. So I'll simply copy this JSON and put it here. Now here I am using one extension. That's why you can't see here the kind of the keys. If I disable this extension, sorry. If I open this in Safari, for example, here you can see that every key and value both have the string. So always a key is always been a string. So let's just copy from here, and this is my actual JSON, which is like a proper JSON. Okay, so I'll just remove that window so that it won't distract us. So now we have a one JSON object. Now if I want to get the value of particular this confirm cases in India, how I can get it? I can simply go here, simply print like JSON variable square bracket, and I'll simply print this thing here. And as soon as I'll put run, we can see 8397 here. So this is how we can read the data, but this is not actual JSON. This looks like kind of a map. This doesn't look like a JSON to me. So a JSON might look like this. So let me just copy this like this way. Okay, so this might look like a bit JSON where we have unofficial summary. So if I copy this unofficial summary and print here as in the key, it will print the whole array. But it says I got the whole array here printed. Now if I want to read the value of a total, how I can do? Because this is an array. This is an array and this is the first object. I will write here as in the index with the 0. And if I run again, I'll get only the object. But now it says there is some error because the operator array cannot be called on the list. So looks like it is an array, but right now I'm not able to access it. So what is the reason? And the reason is now this is actually a JSON data. And to parse the JSON data, we required a library which help us to convert the data from one thing to another, which is like from JSON to the pure object. So what we'll do here is we will convert this response using the JSON method, JSON file that we will have. So for that, we will be using it JSON decode. Like, let's go over here in our example first screen, and let me first zoom it a bit so that everyone can see it. JSON decode. So this JSON decode gets the total JSON string and it will convert into the whole object. If we do this over here in our example here, so what we'll do now, we will have final JSON object. Now this is actually a JSON string, which I will make it as a string like this. Now JSON object is equal to JSON decode, JSON string, so sorry, it won't be like imported here because we need dot convert. It should work. Hold on, let me just give it a try. Looks like I missed the page, don't worry. So we have that data. So we have our JSON file. So here we will take a JSON variable, final string JSON string equal to curly bracket, and then we have this stuff here. Now this will create some issue because this is the whole string. So I'm just creating a proper string here. Okay, so now we got a whole data as a string, and I'm just posting a data here so that everyone understand what exactly the data looks like as in the comment. So this is the data. What we want a JSON object. So here what we'll do, we will be having final, let's just a dynamic JSON object equal to like a simple object, and here we JSON object equal to JSON decode, and I'll simply pass the JSON string here. Now it says that the JSON object can't be used as a setter because it's a final. So we'll remove the final, we will add the where, because we don't know what kind of the like data structure it will be. And now I will put here a print statement or like debug.print response $JSON object, and let's just run this, and I'm just putting a breakpoint here so that everyone can understand what was the data earlier we were getting it and what now we'll get using the just JSON decode method. So we are actually using this data right now. I should have run the app earlier, but it's okay. Okay, so now in the JSON string, we can see we have the whole string. If we run this through, we have the JSON object, and here you can see it's a map. The data type is a map. If I go here and I'll print here JSON object, we can see there is a one map. A key is unofficial summary, and then it has the list of all data. Now, if I want to print this JSON objects data, like if I want to print this depth, so how I can go is I have the JSON object So I'll simply write JSON object. But now I don't have anything here because I want to pass the key. So key is unofficial summary. So if I take and put unofficial summary, I get a list. And list I have a 0th object. And now I have the data, which is depth, because this is the first object of this array. So I have to access that object because from this much of data, I can get the list. From the list, I have the first object, and now from the first object, I need particular variable. So now we can see I can get this data. So if I write this, the same code here in the debug print, depth. So I will be able to get this data here in the terminal. So I just need to rerun it. It's breakpoint, and we can see that that's 119538. Okay. So the JSON decode method is the main, the crux here, which help us to convert the data from one to another. And this will make our life more easy. So, but here we have, this list of data. And we want to use so many stuff here. So like every time writing this thing, JSON.object unofficial summary 0 depth, or like, if we are using this, then we will write JSON of object of regional of 0, 1, 2, 3 and this. So this will create us some pain. So what we have here is we have some solution called JSON to Dart. As we create a Pojo file in Java, we can create the same file here as well. So what we can do is we can go to json.dart. We'll go to JSON to Dart here. We'll put our JSON, the whole JSON file that we have. Like, okay, let me just copy it from the here and we'll paste it here. We'll simply click generate Dart. So it will create the whole class file. Now what is this? I'll explain you. I'll simply here write API response. The class name is API response, and we'll generate again. So you can see we got something like this. Let me just copy first this whole code, copy Dart code to clipboard. We'll create here the third is like new folder, API demo. Here we will have new folder called model. In model, we have new file called API_response.dart. Here we'll simply paste the code. So here API response. See, we can see that in the API response, we have like 4 key: success, data, last refreshed and last origin update. The same kind of thing we can see here. Success, data, last refresh, last origin update. So we got a one class which has this kind of member variable. So we can get this kind, we got this kind of member variable. Now data is again a custom class which has summary, list of unofficial summary and regional. Now what is this? So we have summary, unofficial summary and regional. So we also got this. In the regional, if we go inside, we have the LOC confirm and everything. Regional, LOC confirm and everything. So how this data is actually getting parsed here? So let's just go one by one. First, the success. So what this thing is doing is as soon as we got the string response, it passed the string response here and we'll convert this into the map. And how we are converting this string into the map? Using JSON Decode, like this way. So if you check here, it is actually sending us the dynamic. And if I pass this dynamic to here, it will automatically get converted to string dynamic. I'll show you how we can do this. And here it is just taking just like the JSON of success, JSON of data, JSON of last refresh. The way we are doing here, like this JSON object of unofficial summary, we can get this over here as well. Hold on, let me just show you. This must be here, like JSON of unofficial summary. So whenever you get any response from the API, you just need to simply go to Google, JSON to Dart, JSON to Dart. Whatever the first link that you receive, click on it, put your JSON data, click on generate, copy this and create a file over here. This becomes your Podo, plain Dart object. Okay. So now this is done. Now the main thing, the calling this API, getting this data and converting to the another file. So let's just create a file, API demo.dart stateless API demo material scaffold app bar title text API demo. Okay. And I'll simply copy this API demo in our main file over here. So home API demo, sorry, comma. And now we got API demo here. Now, what we want to do is on a click of a button, we will fetch the data and then we'll simply show that data in our we will just simply show a snake bar that we got the data. So we'll go one by one. So let me just close other stuff. Okay, so in the API demo, we have now body. In body, we will be having at a center button, center child, elevated button. In child, we will say text. Text is get data, and then we will have on press event. So we got it here. Now on press, we will be getting the data. So for that, I am creating another method and we'll call the method here. So what I'll do, I'll create another method called void fetch data. And here I will write the code. Now to get the data from the API, you have already learned that we need a package called HTTP. So to get the package, we will go to pub.dev. So I have a shortcut. When I write pub.dev and press tab, and if I write anything, it will search on that website. You can see search Dart packages and whatever I write. So it will directly search into pub.dev. I got the HTTP. I'll simply click on it. I'll go here, search for pubspec.yml. I'll go inside the dependency, paste here. And pasting, I will press command save, or I will go to terminal and I will write flutter pub get. So it will fetch the dependency. Our dependencies are available. We will rerun the application. Meanwhile, it reruns the application. We'll start writing the code. Now to call the API, as now everyone are at least aware how to call the API. So I will speed up the things. So to call the API, we need HTTP object, which we can get directly from HTTP, but not as that easy. So what we'll do, we'll first import it, like import HTTP package. So we have HTTP and /HTTP.dart. And I'll say I just need as HTTP. So here, now I will use the whole package as the HTTP. Here I'll get HTTP dot. And here the API which we are calling is the gate API, because this is just the URL. And we are just hitting URL on the browser. We are not passing any headers or anything. So we'll simply need this URL. I'm copying this URL. I'm pasting it here. like http.get, and I'll pasting the URL here. As soon as I paste the URL here, it says that this get is actually returning the future. Now, future means, I guess Vivek just covered future, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so can just someone help me why exactly the future required and what exactly the means of this future?
Sir, when we have result coming in near future, we kind of have future response. And if we use async and await together, then we will get a response instead of future response.
Your answer actually reminding me my engineering days. No offense, but just, I'm just remembering my engineering days. So it's like when we need some asynchronous task, which is like, because we don't know when this response will come. The response of this API is totally depends on the internet. And if we require this kind of operation where we don't know when the execution will get end, so that particular methods or stuff will be used as in the asynchronously. And when we want to use asynchronously, we are telling them, hey, you can go ahead and then as soon as you get the response, let us know. So if I put dot then, hello? Okay. If I put dot then, that means once this response will come, it will hit the then and I will get the response in then. You might have learned this thing the other way today. You might have learned this thing according to like this way, like final response is equal to await. And here it's the async, right? Hello. Have you called the API like this way?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So we will continue with this way only. Now it says error. Why it's saying error? Because it says it's need URI, not the URL. See, this data type is the URI, not the string. So what we can do, we can actually like copy this string, copy, and we have URI dot parse method where we can actually pass a string and it will convert into the URI. And now we'll get the response. Let's see whether we are getting a response or not. Debug print on a click of a button. Print get response. And here I'm passing the response. Let's just run this. Okay, let's click on a button. It's not getting the data. Do you know why? Why this is not fetching the data? Why this is not getting the data?
Sir, on button press event, we have not called fetch data.
Array, yaar. Thank you. Okay. So if I click on the get data, yes, get response, instance of response. So we got the data at least in response. We got something. Now what we got, let's just see. Click on again the get data. I got a response and I'm just pasting here. We got a response and we got this much of data. Now HTTP response is something which we are getting. Now we want the body. Here, if you can see, we got the body. Okay, where every data is here. So in that case here I will type like this, response dot body, and then I'll do like this. So if I run it again, we got the response. Perfect. Now what we want exactly a one class object, this API response object, this podo object that we have created. So what we'll do, we'll create API response in small API response is equal to API. Now we have a static method here. If you can see, API response dot from JSON. Now we got the JSON already. So we will write API response dot from JSON, and we got this response dot data. But here it throws an error because the data, sorry, body, my mistake. Okay, it throws an error because body is something which is a string and it's not can't assigned to be map dot this map. So what we need to do here, we need to convert it into the JSON response. So to do that, we will do final JSON response equal to JSON decode where response dot body. And now we'll pass this JSON response here. And now if we print this API response, we get an object. So API response. Let's just put a breakpoint here one by one. So we see what exactly happening here. So I click on the get data. I got some result in my response body. We can see we got some response. Now we are converting into the JSON. We got the JSON. And from the JSON, we got one object. So now we got the object as well. So if I print this object value, I can see I got the API response. From the API response dot data, I got the data as well. From data, I can simply search for regional. I got the list. And that's how we can actually get this data. So this is a small portion of parsing the JSON where the magic happened here. And this particular class has just two methods, from JSON and to JSON. So from JSON is nothing, it's just fetching each value from the map and passing it to its member variable, nothing major than that. So there is no rocket science. And then if we want to convert to JSON, it's just simply creating a map again with the same kind of member variable. Simple. So this is how we can do a JSON parsing. Now let's just make an app where as soon as we run the app, we get a one small dialer and this API get called automatically. As soon as we get the data, we can show the data on the screen. So now we have something called some state, because when we load the app, we are into the initial state. Then our application will get built and then our state will get changed with the data. So that's why we need to convert our API demo class from stateless to stateful. So I'll simply click on this bulb icon, click on convert to stateful. Now it is stateful. Now every stateful widget has its own methods, own life cycle. That when this widget has been created, initialized, created, if it is changed or not, and then when it is destroyed. So now what we want is as soon as this widget is initialized, I want to call this method, which is fetch data. So I'll simply call fetch data here. Just to make more readability, I will put all these methods below the build method. So that's the problem that I have some configurations. So when I press save and I'm not using that particular code, it will remove unnecessary part. Okay, so this is what we got. So finally we have the fetch data. But now how user will get updated? That's something happening on the screen. So to show the user that something is happening on the screen, we have a state variable. Here we will have one variable is fetching data equal to false. So here what we'll do in fetch data, as soon as we request for the fetch data, we'll say fetching data equal to true. And as soon as we receive the data here, we will again say fetching data equal to false. Fetching data equal to false. Now, using this variable, we will update our UI. And to call the build method of the stateful widget state, we have to call a setState method. So once we have changed the state, it won't work here. That means the UI will not get updated. To update the UI, we have to write setState method. So we can write the setState here as well, or we can write this fetching data inside the setState, or like we can call the setState like this as well, like without writing it, because the variable is changed and we are calling the setState. We'll do both the ways so that you understand that there is no difference. SetState is just only used to call the build method. That's it, nothing much then. So now if the fetching data is true, we will show the loader. So for that, we'll write a condition here in the body that if fetching data is true, we will show a ready-made widget which is called circular progress indicator. Okay, this is the ternary operator that I have used here. So if fetching data is true, then we'll show the circular progress indicator. If not true, then we'll show the button. Let's just run this app. I'm just hot restarting app. See, you can see that the circle here. If I again press on get data, you can see a circle because we are fetching the data. And now we got the data. But this circular progress indicator is not visible. Let's just wrap it with the center. Center and then center. Now if I press the get data, we got, it's like the data is coming so fast, my internet too fast. So we are getting it, but let me just hot restart again. So you might be get it. Okay, so we got the circular progress indicator, and then as data has received, we got this button. Now what we want to do is whatever the data that we received, we want to use the data and to show on the screen. So we have created a layout, something like this, where we want to show some data. So let's just create that thing first. So here I'll remove the center portion, this button. I'll remove this button as well. And also the text. What we need is we need column. In column we have children. In children we have row. In row again we have children, because we want to put this thing as a side by side. So this is one row and the whole screen is a column, because this is the one part of the column, this is another part of the column. So in the row, we will have kind of a one widget where we have again a column, children. Here we will write text. Here the text is total cases. And here we have the value of it, like value of total cases. Okay. And now we want to do the similar kind of stuff for all the three boxes. So column, column, column. So here we can see that it is actually going out and this is creating some issue. So what we can do is we can actually limit it by putting it into the expanded. So whatever the size it required, it will wrap it with the expanded. So expanded. Okay, and the similar thing I will do, like copy it again, paste and paste. So now we can see that they have like adjusting with each other. But this actually doesn't look good to me, like every day, like copy pasting the same code. So what we can do, we can actually extract it as our own widget. So here I will write another file. I'm creating a small folder for it And here I will write kind of a label underscore widget dot dart. Here I will create another label widget. In label widget, we are just copying the whole code, this expanded here. And now this total cases, so this is the label this is the label title, and this is the value. So what I can do here, actually, I can here calling a label widget like this, and I will have this kind of thing. But what I want is whatever I pass, it should be displayed over here. For that, I need to create some variable. So I'll write final string title, final string value, and I will pass title here. I'll pass value here, and we will add this here, this dot title, this dot value. Now, this is not nullable, but I want to give a kind of the default value, which is the empty string. For example, if nobody pass anything, it is an empty string like this. So here what will happen now, whatever the value that I pass here in label string, like for example, title is total cases, and value is, for example, this. If I pass this, I can see this number. So I can do the same thing here, and my code will look more readable now. So now I can just simply copy this and paste it. And now we want to show here total cases, cured, and death. Now you can see that this number should come from the API. The response that we are getting from here, like this API response. So what we can do here is we can have another variable which is called the summary. So we can create another variable called summary here, like summary. Okay, like this, and this can be nullable, so that's why I am putting as a question mark. Now, as soon as we got the summary, we got the response, we'll simply put summary also here. So like summary, you can see that it is actually throwing me. So I'll simply remove this part set state, because we already have a set state. But now we don't have from the data. Now this summary looks something different, because it says, if you go and read the like this error, it says the property summary can't be unconditionally accessed because the receiver can be null. So this can be null. So we have to must tell them that, hey, this won't be a null, or like we have to tell them, hold on, my mistake. We can just simply have like here the variable, and it will automatically be implemented here. Just a moment. The property summary can't be unconditionally null access because the receiver can be null. Try making the access conditional for this or addition. Okay, so it's not like this. So the thing is here, this summary can't be accessed because the data can be null. If we go here, we can see the data can be null. So for example, if my data is null, then obviously this code will get crashed. So it's saying that put this sign just to tell if the data is null, it won't access this. So that's why the null safety actually helping us this way. Now, as we know that we define summary as in the null, so we can also make change like whenever we will access, we can have that data over here while checking. So now we got the summary. Now we got this data, this data summary. Now what I want to access is total, confirm. Sorry, we don't have here, so we will take this confirm cases Indian and then discharge. So now I will use from here summary dot, this is the total cases, so confirm cases India dot toString. Now as you can see, it is actually throwing error because of this. This can be null. This is integer. Okay, so I have converted to the string. Okay, so what we need is we need summary dot confirmed cases Indian dot toString. Why this is throwing an error? A value of type null can't be assigned to a parameter of type string. Okay, and if it is like this, it should be like that. I don't know why this is throwing an error. Oh, sorry. Yeah, just because of the const keyword, it was actually giving me the error because it says it's a const. So now we got this. Now why we have used this notation? Because here if you go and see this particular string as a concrete string, we don't have the null here. So what if this summary data is null? If the summary data is null, it won't go ahead there because we have the question mark. Now we are seeing the Indian cases. Now this Indian cases is again is the integer type. So we are converting it to the toString. Now what if this Indian cases are also null? So we are just putting a question mark again. Now if everything is null, but the value doesn't accept the null. So here we have the shorthand operator called double question mark, which means if the whole expression is null before this double question mark, so you can replace this with the expression which is on the right hand side. So on the right hand side, I am passing empty string, or I can pass no data available, or like n/a, sorry, n/a. So like this. And with the same thing we can do here for the value. I can just simply copy this, and in the value I can simply put cured. For the cured we have discharge, and for the death we have the value of death. Right, now this value is not coming here because the app run before we wrote this code. Now I'll simply reload this. The data is getting fetched. We got the data and we can see the data here. Let's just verify whether this data is correct or not. So these are 4,85,035. 4,85,035. Here it is something like 3,63,17,000. 3,63,17,000. So this data has received properly. Now what we want here is we want a one divider. Right now we are not focusing on the designing part. We are just focusing on how to get the data and show it on the screen. So you might feel that this looks ugly, but please bear with me. Now we have a ready-made widget called divider. So it will just simply create one line. Sorry. Hold on, I am writing it incorrectly maybe. So we have column, we have row. Okay, so we have ended row, comma, divider, and sorry, divider. Yes. So now you can see there is a one very light divider. We can give the color as well. Colors.red. Red is my favorite color, that is visible actually. And we can give some size box on the top just to give some spacing. 16. So now we got something like this. Now we want a list view here. Now, as we know how to write the list view, pretty simple. We'll simply go and write the list view dot builder, list view dot. Now we will use the separated rather than the list view builder. Here we got 3 parameters which needs to get implemented, and those 3 parameters are item builder, separator builder, and item count. Now for item count, what we need is we need actually length of this regional array. So we need API response dot data dot regional dot length. So here we will write API response, but API response is not accessible because we have used as the local variable. So what we can do is the way we have created this summary object, we can create the regional object as well. So we'll go up, we'll write here regional underscore regional. We will go here regional equal to API response dot data dot regional. So we got this. Okay, this is the list of regional because we are getting a list. So here we have to convert it to the list of regional, and we got the list of regional here. Now we have regional question mark dot length, and if it's null, we'll simply pass 0 here. Now separator builder is actually used to put a line separator, or like any widget you can put as a separator between 2 consecutive list items. So here it gives us 2 things, context and index, like at what index we want to do. Here we want to pass at every index a divider. We'll simply put a divider with colors dot amber, which is like yellow color. So now we have it. And in the item builder, we will be having some new item, like for example, list tile. In the list tile, we have a title. In title, we will be putting regional of index because we are already getting an index here. So here we'll put question mark index. And hold on, I shouldn't be using this automatic thing. Okay, so what we exactly want is we want regional of index. As soon as I got the index, I'll need LOC, which is the location. Now it might throw an error because it says a string can't be assigned to the parameter string. So it can be null. This can be null. And this whole thing can be null, and we can replace it by this stuff like empty string or like no data found. So we got the title here, but now it will throw an error. Do you know why this is throwing an error? We got the similar kind of problem earlier because we are putting our list view inside a column. So whenever you put a list view inside a column, it always creates a problem, as we just discussed in the first session. So I'll simply again wrap with expanded. Now if I run it, we got Andaman Nicobar, Andhra Pradesh, every data, like whatever we are getting in the API. Now what we can do is we can go to the subtitle here, text, and here we can give the data which we want to give. So here we want to show the data total confirmed cases, for example. So I'll simply go to total confirmed cases dot toString. Here I'll put a question mark. Here we don't need question mark. And we got the total confirmed cases. If I want to manipulate this string, I can do it by doing this number total confirmed. total confirmed, and here plus sign for the string concatenation. Oh, it won't work. Hold on. So I need to do this dollar. Okay. So now we got a total confirmed cases. So I just did some string manipulation. So whenever you want to do any calculation or anything, you can just simply do in the dollar and curly bracket. Whatever thing you will do, it will execute first, and then the value will be get inserted as a string. So the same thing I did here. I have put a condition that if this particular string, the whole string is null, will simply show no data found. Otherwise, it will just print this value. And that's how we are able to implement the API call in this app within 100 line of code again. So that's the good success, that we are still at the 100 line of code and we are able to, like write this good amount of code. So now tell me, what is the most difficult part right now? Because I went too fast, I know. If you want to revisit any of this part, let me know, we can revisit it. But I am done for the session for API and JSON parsing stuff. I hope everyone understood how this data is actually getting changed. Initially, when the application loads, let me just show you how exactly this whole things works, so that everyone have some more clarity. As soon as we run the app, it will first call the init. As soon as the init get hit, we call the fetch data. And even though this fetch data called, we have the default value is false, but now it became true. As soon as this became true, and the build method is getting executed. Now, I don't know why we are going inside. I guess I pressed some other button. Okay, as soon as we go inside, so we have this fetching data equal to true value. Right now, the value of this fetching data is true. Now we got the data. So now the value is false, because as soon as we get the data, the value became false, and we call the set state. So now this build method is called again. Earlier it was called, and that's why we are able to see the loader. Now when we change, we got the data, we change the state of this fetching data and every other variable. We are checking here if the fetching data is false. That means we got data over here somewhere. So here we are checking and we are executing the data, because now we have assumption that we might have data in the summary. That's how the whole thing is getting executed. We can actually, like show all this data, because now we have the data, we can manipulate it. Now we know how to create the UI and the stuff. You can write any name of your own widget. Here we have created our own widget, which is called label widget. So we can give some styling and the stuff here in the label widget itself. So yeah, tell me if anyone have any doubt or questions. No questions? I found that Vivek gets a lot of questions and I'm not getting one. Looks like I'm not a good instructor. Hello? Are everyone awake? No, sir. Everyone is present. Looks like everyone in a festival mood.
Oh, sir, we are away.
Okay, thank you. So, any doubt, any questions? No doubt, no questions. So we can conclude this session. But just make sure that this is like very basic. After the Uttarayan, like Makar Sankranti, from the 15th, there are some advanced topic will get started where we actually get the data from one screen, we get the data from another screen, and we are fetching the data in the third screen. Like, for example, we are doing authentication, like we might create a login page. Once user is login, we are showing that page again, and if user is not login, we are showing the login page. So that kind of thing will happen from upcoming sessions. So just make sure that whatever that we learned till now is easy to grasp. And if you have any doubt, any silly questions, feel free to ask. I'm here for next 15 minutes till 4.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir, can you share that Dart file in chat, today's Dart file, so that if we face any difficulty while coding, then we can quickly refer that file?
Which file, the widget file or the podo file?
The widget file, the API demo file.
Okay, sure.
Of today's session and earlier the file which you have created for the first name, last name screen by navigating to second screen. That also, sir.
Sure. I'll do that.
Okay,
I'll share the whole project
you,
itself.
Okay, fine. That will be better, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. Sir, are you like comfortable with the GitHub?
Not much, sir. Right now, I am trying in Visual Studio Code only.
No. What I'm saying is GitHub, so that I can upload my code on the GitHub and we'll share.
Fine. Okay, fine. Yes. That would be better. Then I will download from GitHub. Yes, that's fine.
Perfect. So I will upload it right away as soon as this session ends, and then I will share the link in the Microsoft team.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Perfect.
So that's why I told just a Dart file would be fine, because in chat window Dart file will be easily available. But if you are uploading in GitHub, then it's better for us. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, sure.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir, there is one question.
Yeah,
like,
please.
How we have developed our PODO, that is PODO. Now, sir, the JSON response somehow changed from the API, right? Then what happens? We just need to create that PODO one more time, or there is any other way that we can directly fetch data from API only?
Okay, good question. Let me just share the screen and help you with this. Let me know once you are able to see the screen.
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay, so right now our response looks like this. Okay. Now, for example, if this particular response key name is lock, for example, if developer decide that this is not more readable, so he changes the name of the LOC to location in the response. So if the change is like this, which is like very minimal, what I will do is I'll simply go to my Podo file and I will search for that particular place where I'm actually parsing this LOC to my object, like here. So I'm getting JSON from LOC. So I'll simply change here, like location. So this key become a location. I'll simply copy and I'll simply paste here. here, and then I will be able to get the response with the new key in my LOC variable itself. So if the change is like this, I can do manually, but if the change is like they have removed the regional stuff, or maybe they have some complex JSON. For example, they might ended up with
Yes, sir. That is like some major structural changes.
correct. If we have that kind of changes, then obviously it's required to like create your own new Podo file. Like for example, if we have this kind of stuff, if it is being changed like this way, so in that case you need to create your own Podo file again.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. Perfect. Ghanshyam sir, do we have our own GitHub repo where I can push, or should I push on my profile and just share the link?
No, sir, we didn't create it for this training individually.
No problem. Okay, so I will just upload it on my personal profile and then we'll share the GitHub link.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
You may share me in the WhatsApp, so I will share in the group. Not an issue.
Sure, ma'am. Thank you. I'll do that. So if you have any other doubt, apart from the today's session, like till now, whatever things happened, like today is the third day, and from day 1 to day 3, if you have any doubt regarding Flutter, Dart, this mobile development, feel free to ask. Also, as we have like 10 minutes, so I want to take the opportunity to take the feedback from you. So I always do this at the mid of the workshop. I did this earlier as well. Manisha ma'am is aware when we did the first workshop like almost 4 or 5 years back for Android. So please share your feedback. I mean till today, from day 1 to day 3, how you felt, what you think it's good, what you think that can be improved, and what you think that we can actually ignore. And like, I mean, we can not ignore, I mean, we can like remove from the process that we are following right now. Feel free to write it down if you are not willing to speak up. If you will speak up, that will be more motivating for us, especially me. No feedback?
Darshak sir.
Ma'am, I'm typing it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone? So I need a feedback who are not from Gujarat, because this is like first time I'm having an interaction with the person outside of the Gujarat, especially such a experienced faculties whom I got an opportunity to help them with the Flutter. So I need your feedback as well from all, at least 2 or 3 feedbacks from those faculty members, if I get some. So Darshak sir wrote his feedback. I'm enjoying this training a lot. It seemed very troubling to code in Flutter earlier, but after even 3 days, I find it pretty comfortable and confident about Flutter now. Thanks to a great speaker having awesome knowledge. Thank you so much for this feedback. I'm really happy that you are enjoying it. Manisha ma'am, do we have something called internal marks?
Internal marks for?
or like for the instructor, like, you know, we do have in Viva with the faculty, like if the student doesn't behave properly, we can give according.
Sure, we can keep.
Okay, no problem. Looks like everyone are a bit tired or maybe like overwhelmed with the Flutter and like in a mood of a festival maybe.
Yes, I think so. Sir, we will definitely having a last session validatory. We will invite you in then. So after completing the whole training, you will get a lot of feedback. So.
Yes, okay. I mean, like, see, if there is some change in the procedure that, you know, the way we are conducting till now, if you have any feedback, feel free to shoot it. Like, we are like very comfortable for changing the way we are right now, you know, sharing the knowledge that we have. If you think that this is going fast, this is going slow, this is repetitive, this is unnecessary, feel free to shoot it. Like, just, I mean, say it loud.
Okay, sir. As a coordinator, I am continuously observing this, and I am not unable to do it practically along with that. But as an observer of the training, I am continuously observing that everything is going smooth, and you are switching Vivek sir and you. So Vivek sir is clearing many doubts, and then you are clearing many doubts. So participants are very comfortable. I can, as a overall and big picture, I can see it like this. So this is the feedback from me. What I am observing in this training, sir.
Okay. Okay.
Yes,
Okay, sir.
Dr. Devi Priya is there. Dr. Devi Priya. Okay.
So we got some feedback in the chat as well from Dil ma'am, from Rajesh sir, and from Harsh sir. Very interesting program. Thank you. Very informative session, sir. Thank you. It's been a really nice experience till now. Got to learn so many things in details and practical manner. The only thing that would be more helpful, more practice sessions. Thank to both the speaker. Okay. So I have something for you. Those who want to do some more practice session by their own. Okay, we got some new feedback as well. It's a very excellent teaching technique for programming language. Okay, thank you, ma'am. This is just what I learned from my faculty members. I mean, sorry, my teachers, not faculty members. Okay, so those who want to do some practice, there is a one link called codelabs.developers.google, and then you can go on the left hand side and select, where is the Flutter? You can type on Flutter and you can get all this Flutter related Codelabs. You can start with write your first app, part 1, write your Flutter desktop. We are not going to cover the desktop application. Let me just send you a proper links. So that will be easy for you. Second, Cupertino app. Building beautiful UIs with Flutter. And okay, we don't want this page view and anything. Taste, no. Yes, okay. So those who are interested of doing the stuff by themselves, this is like pretty good website. It has like every step-by-step stuff. Is my screen is shared?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. So we got one request. Please Firebase with Flutter demo. For now, it is not into the the agenda, but if we get a time, I will try to cover that as well. Thank you, Deval sir, or maybe the Jhala. Sorry, I'm not sure. What is your first name? Is Deval is the first name? I guess. Okay.
Yes, Devar is first.
Okay. So I'm just sharing these links in the chat. So this is the first collab. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, ma'am. So this is the first link that this is the second link. So this is like pretty simple and pretty straightforward. And also like this thing, me, Vivek have contributed. So if you think that there is some mistake, just feel free to reach out to us. We are the one who are helping, like creating this kind of Codelabs as well. So if you think in Codelabs also there is some problem, just feel free to let us know. So, and this is the fifth one, which is a bit bigger, but I guess everyone will enjoy it. So there's are 5 links which you can go and like run yourself and do the stuff. Just make sure if you don't understand anything, just stop there, and then we will discuss during our next session. Also, there is another GitHub repo called Flutter Playground. This is from another expert called Bhavik Makwana. He is also from Ahmedabad, and he has created some cool demos of all the different widgets, where I have also contributed for some of them. So you can see the contributor's name here. So we do this thing. I'm also sharing the repo link of it. So this is another thing. If you want to explore, so you can go to the lib. You can see there are UI UX stuff. You can go to UI, and there are all the different widgets are here and how you can use it. Like everything is here. Like for example, you want to go to check that how many app bar stuff are there. In the app bar example, you can see the all different kind of properties and has been implemented here. And you can go into the screen and you can see this is the app bar, navigation rover, and everything. Also, there are some cool Flutter repo as well, as far as hold on, Flutter examples maybe. I'll search and I'll get back to you on this if I got this. Okay, all GitHub. Sorry. Yes, this one, Flutter samples and Flutter examples. So these are again some widgets which we can use. So this is again one of my friend Nishant. And this is another Flutter samples. No, this doesn't look good because it doesn't have anything here. Okay. Where is my light star? Okay. Okay, I will share as soon as I'll get that repo. It also have some good stuff, maybe the Flutter UI. No, this is in Chinese. This is the solitaire game written in a Flutter if anyone is interested. This guy is also like Indian and from Mumbai. If you want to see the code of it, this is the repo. So you can find a lot of those cool stuff from here. This is kind of how, if your student asks that how they can start with the Flutter roadmap and how they can learn the Flutter, you can also share this repo to them. So couple of things that these all things are easily available. and this so like easy to get it. So yeah, that's it. I will keep going on and on, but we have time to stop now. So yeah, thank you everyone. I hope you are enjoying.
Okay, sir. Thank you very much. So we are concluding session here. Thank you very much, Drumil sir. Dear participants, this is the end of the third session of the day, and we have completed training of 3 days. So we are in the middle of the training. Tomorrow we are having break of Uttarayan. So I wish you happy Uttarayan, all of you. Be safe, take care of your family, enjoy festival. And then we will begin our upcoming sessions from Saturday and 15th January onward, sharp at 10 a.m. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you once again, Drumil sir, for such a wonderful sessions for all 3 days. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Happy Uttarayan, happy
you, sir.
Makar Sankranti, happy Pongal to everyone.
Thank you, sir.